There are new reports out there that Star Wars is going to be making an Old Republic television show and streaming series. This actually flies in the face of reports that have been coming out recently about this High Republic era that Disney is going to make the 2022 movie in and Project Luminous. Let's break this down, talk about where the reports are coming from, and answer the question on everyone's mind: what is happening? What's up, everybody? It's Josh. Welcome back to the channel. Do me a favor and smash that like button. Let's get right into this. Oh, and by the way, there's going to be a lot of videos today, so just keep checking back to the channel if the videos don't come out in your recommended feed. Okay, so I saw this last night. It's coming out from Screen Rant that sources it from Fandom Wire. I'm going to read right from the Screen Rant article a little bit here, and then we'll start to speculate. It says, Lucasfilm is reportedly developing a new Knights of the Old Republic movie and TV show as they iron out the future of the Star Wars franchise. The Star Wars movie and TV show about the Knights of the Old Republic is reportedly in development. This past December, Lucasfilm closed out the franchise's iconic Skywalker saga with The Rise of Skywalker, but that's hardly the last Star Wars film that will grace the big screen. While Disney is putting the Star Wars films on a short, self-imposed hiatus, they already have a trio of mystery projects scheduled for release in 2022, 2024, and 2026. As the studio figures out their next course of action, there's obviously no shortage of rumors concerning Star Wars' future. Most recently, word was that the next Star Wars film saga would be set during the days of the High Republic, some 400 years prior to The Phantom Menace. Lending credence to this speculation was a High Republic name drop in a recent Star Wars comic book. But if the latest reports, the ones about the Old Republic, are to be believed, Lucasfilm is looking much, much further into the past for their next slate of projects, and it's an era fans have been yearning to see on screen for a long time. Now, Screen Rant again goes on to say, according to Fandom Wire, a Knights of the Old Republic movie and TV show are in development. From the sound of things, neither will be an adaptation of the fan-favorite video game, instead telling other stories set in that era nearly 4,000 years before A New Hope. Screen Rant has reached out for comment and will update this page accordingly. Now, when you go back and look at the Fandom Wire article, I think that some of this just gets cleared up a little bit. They're talking about in the Phantom Wire the same thing with the hiatus, the 2022 film, the rumored High Republic film, but they say, however, our sources have told us that Disney is working on a Knights of the Old Republic show and movie. They go on to explain the Knights of the Old Republic, or KOTOR, was an RPG by BioWare set up about 4,000 years prior to A New Hope, placing it before the Rule of Two in a time where Revan and Malak were in their prime. So, this is really confusing, and there's a couple of things that could be going on. Number one, right out the gate, Fandom Wire could be full of crap. I mean, they could just be reporting something because they want to capitalize on the rumors around Star Wars right now. It's even something that Screen Rant kind of hints at in their article, talking about how there's no shortage of rumors, okay? Now, the other thing that could be happening here is that the sources that are talking to Fandom Wire are just confused, and that the High Republic and the Old Republic are actually the same thing. And I'll get into more of that speculation in a second because I'm leaning towards that actually. But the other option here is, of course, that it's true and that Disney is literally going to establish Old Republic stuff right alongside with the High Republic stuff. Now, I just did a live stream earlier today breaking down a lot of this stuff over on the Den of Nerds Live with G.A. Lunga. Go check that out if you're interested. It was a good chat. But one of the things we talked about on that live stream was this idea and this question of, if Disney really does do the High Republic and then turn around and also do Old Republic, is that going to be too confusing? Is that going to be too strange for audiences? I tend to believe that it would be. If they're going to go High Republic and they're going to set all of this stuff up with Project Luminous, with this new video game, and then that's what the 2022 movie is going to be, I think it would be super weird for Disney to turn around and make the 2024 movie, or even the 2026 movie, the Old Republic, and do a show and go way back from there. How is that not just the most confusing thing ever? Which leads me to the speculation about the second point here, because I think, and I kind of know this just from talking with the sources that I have, they will often, get things wrong. They will say things that they think is meaning the same thing that they think it's meaning in their head, and then they say it and it means something completely different. So for instance, the sources telling them that they have heard that this is going to be an Old Republic movie and television show might be exactly the same project that is referenced when people bring up the High Republic. Then this is what I really mean. Maybe Disney is literally doing the Dan and Dave thing where they were going to talk about the origin of the Jedi. And maybe this High Republic is going to be the origin of the Jedi. It's going to be the building of the Republic, and it's going to be the breaking down of the Jedi and Sith. And it is what we think of when we think of KOTOR, when we think of the Old Republic. But Disney's just not going to call it the Old Republic. They're going to call it the High Republic. But that's probably something that's really known well at the top, right? Most sources don't actually come from the top. They come from lower trickling down pieces of production, you know, things in promotion, things in pre-production, those type of things, marketing, whatever. And so somebody is hearing this and they might think, oh my gosh, Disney's doing the Old Republic. They're doing the Knights of the Old Republic. It looks just like Knights of the Old Republic. It's the same kind of thing as Knights of the Old Republic. And then they just thinking in their Legends head that Knights of the Old Republic is 4,000 years ago, and that's way different than the 400 years ago for the High Republic. They go and tell their people at Fandom Wire that that's what's going on. Holy crap, guys, you've been hearing all this stuff about High Republic, but no, they're also doing the Old Republic, and really, it's all the same thing. Because, as many Star Wars fans have pointed out, Disney can do whatever they want with Legends. Revan was made canon in the visual dictionary for The Rise of Skywalker. All of the different battalions of the Sith troopers were named after different Sith lords. And yes, it is true that in the Knights of the Old Republic and in Star Wars Legends, that was thousands and thousands of years before the Phantom Menace, before the Battle of Yavin, right? But that is not to say that that is how it has to remain. Why have to do that? You could do 400. And in this way, they would make it so a younger Yoda was actually alive during the Old Republic, which they're going to call the High Republic. But that's the news, rumor, report, however you want to think about it. That is what is being talked about out there on the internet. I think, once again, there's three options. Number one, it's total crap. The people at Screen Rant should not have run this, and Fandom Wire is not really a reliable source. Number two, the High Republic and this Old Republic stuff are actually referring to the same project, which people are just misinterpreting and making, mistakes. Or Disney is indeed developing the Old Republic as well as the High Republic, and they're going to do some really interesting thing in the next 5 years of Star Wars storytelling where we keep going back further and further or something weird like that. So that's the news, but I want to know what you think about this. What do you think's going on? Is it one of those three options? Is it something I'm not thinking of? Whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comment section below. And now let's shout out Revan Winter Soldier. Indeed, it was The Day the Earth Stood Still, which was the movie that Scott Derrickson worked on with Keanu Reeves. So shout out to you, Revan Winter Soldier. Cool name, by the way. Now let's ask another nerd card question before we get out of here. I want to know, what is the name of the composer that did the score for The Mandalorian? Awesome dude, makes awesome tunes. What is the name of the composer for The Mandalorian? Answer that question in the comment section below. As I always say, I hope you're having an awesome and a nerdy day, and I'll see you in the next video.